Most of the South American nations gained their independence from Spain and Portugal in the early 19th century. However, there was a great deal of distrust amongst these nations as they hoped to expand their influence and control in the region. And the situation was made worse due to civil wars in Argentina and Uruguay. In Argentina, the Argentinian Confederation fought the anti-federalist Unitarian Party, and in Uruguay, the conservative Blancos fought the liberal Colorados. And these parties formed alliances across the border. By 1862, the Unitarian Party had emerged victorious in Argentina, and the Blancos held power in Uruguay. Meanwhile, the Paraguayans had been developing into a regional force. The isolationist nation had become self-sufficient and had one of the largest armies in the region. Francisco Solano Lopez took power when his father died in 1862, and quickly brought Paraguay out of isolation by forming an alliance with the Blanco Party in Uruguay. However, in 1863, the exiled leaders of the Uruguayan Colorado Party returned to Uruguay, and, with the help of the Argentinian government, led a rebellion against the Blanco Party. Lopez demanded that the Argentinians stop supporting the rebellion. However, he was ignored, and in October 1864, Brazil also entered into the conflict on the side of the rebels. Lopez severed relations with Brazil and began conscripting more troops into an already large army. However, it should be said it was poorly equipped. In November, the Paraguayans captured a Brazilian ship and a month later declared war on Brazil and invaded Mato Grosso. But in January 1865, the Colorados finally took power in Uruguay. Lopez asked to move troops through Argentina in order to strike southern Brazil. However, the Argentinians refused, so Lopez invaded Argentina in April 1865. So, in early May, Uruguay, Brazil and Argentina signed an alliance and declared war on Paraguay. In June, the Brazilian Navy emerged victorious at the Battle of Riachuelo, preventing the Paraguayans from effectively supporting their army's invasion of Argentina. But the Paraguayan army marched on. Their advance was eventually halted, and by the end of 1865 they were on the retreat. The Allied armies began a slow advance towards Paraguay itself. There they met the Paraguayans at the Battle of Carpathia in September 1866. However, the Allies lost, and they couldn't launch another invasion for another year. Meanwhile, disease was killing a vast number of people on both sides. In late 1867, the Allies finally began to advance again. They invaded Paraguay from the north, dividing Asunción from the army headquarters in the stronghold of Humaita. This prompted the Paraguayans to finally withdraw from Mato Grosso. Meanwhile, the Brazilian Navy was also laying siege to Humaita, and in July they finally managed to blast their way through, allowing the Brazilian Navy to move freely on the rivers to Paraguay. However, Lopez was well defended behind the Picasiri stream. So, in November, the Brazilian General Casillas ordered the construction of a 10-kilometer road to be built across swamps in order to attack Lopez from the rear. As construction was underway, the Allies won two important battles and captured Villeta, forcing Lopez to order the final evacuation of Asunción. Then, as the road was constructed, the Allies managed to assault the Paraguayans. However, Lopez managed to escape into the mountains. In January 1869, the Allies moved freely in to occupy Asunción. However, Lopez managed to evade capture for another year. He was eventually caught in March 1870 and killed when he tried to attack a Brazilian general. In the peace, Paraguay lost a lot of land to the Argentinians and Brazilians, but more disastrously for Paraguay was the incredible loss of life. Over 60% of the Paraguayan population died, and the nation was left in a period of stagnation for decades.